out the pack, where my at? Take an L and try to double back. We ain't doing that. Say she mad, but I know it's cap. I've been through with that. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. Need some.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll see the Rams' rangy quarterback. He got the QB not once, but twice last week with a pair of interceptions. It's the Rams and the Seahawks, and it's coming up next.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California. That's where we are for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Rams team as they enter play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they've had a long few days already as they were in London last week, back in the States, and on the road this week.
And they had some travel troubles coming back from London, but since they came back with a win, they'll put up with those and continue to move forward.
Muscles by at the 25. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by their quarterback now in his 3rd season in the league.
Okay, I'm not taking a turn to negative town, even though it's going to sound like it. The 2 interceptions he threw last week, those obviously have to be eliminated, and that was the focus of practice this week. But let's face it, he did throw 3 touchdown passes.
And they got the win.
And they got the win, so I think it was a good week for him to work on things. Had some positives, the win being first and foremost, now he's just got to eliminate those interceptions.
The numbers for Walker from last week's effort: 12 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
A key component of his team's offense. He will certainly stay in that role if he keeps producing like this each week. Expect him to make a run in not only matching, but exceeding those numbers as this one goes on.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Again, it's Walker. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up from just across the midfield stripe. Here's 2nd and 6. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 25 yards there on the catch and run. So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between. They don't know which way you're going to come at them.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. And Walker with it over the middle. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Now come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Back to throw again. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down. Again, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give him a short yardage situation here for 2nd down. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. Walker is in. Touchdown, Seattle. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They start the drive with Peterson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. You talk about this Rams defense. Against the pass, they're hoping to trend in the opposite direction because right now they're ranked number 26 in the NFL.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get out of roll or chip away their timing.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. The Seahawks at 2-1 now to start the campaign. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. The throw out wide going to be incomplete. I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but maybe circle this play because if they get the stop and hold them to a field goal here, that's a pretty good job. They're already down on the scoreboard.
A stop now would be vital for them because it could save them from having to do it multiple times later.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Here's a screen to Powell. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Well, this defense for the Seahawks very strong in that victory a week ago.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Back out now comes Kenneth Walker in the Seattle offense. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. 60 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. 2nd and 1. He finds his man complete. That's Wolf. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. It's a gain of 35. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Running left is Walker. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Ken Walker, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch out their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our scores. They kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
During that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Mahomes firing complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. 17-0 our score after 1. The Rams with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. Here now, 3rd and a yard. As they've got it as we resume action. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Give him the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play. They run again on 1st down. Peterson. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Throwing now is Mahomes. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running.
And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Rams are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Kenneth Walker headed back out there. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. On second down, it's Walker. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 82 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. Well executed there on second down, so do you go back to the air on third?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a second time.
Now a third down throw, and it misses the target, incomplete. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. Fielded just inside the 30. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
On second down, Peterson. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. They run again with Peterson. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. On play action, it's Mahomes. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
And it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
From the 17, here's 2nd and 4. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Now a 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Back to throw here. He's going to float this one deep right side. That is incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit him over the top, unsuccessfully.
They'll roll him out right. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Setting up the screen here, this is Walker. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. From the gun, it's Walker. Shreds the tackle. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 106 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. They go play action here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Now we're first and 10 at the 11. Now a draw play. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. They're going to look to throw. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal.
He kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Here's Walker. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Again, Walker. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Seahawks go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. Now Mahomes. Pass complete there to Nakua. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try to put some points on the board.
Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. On second down, here's Mahomes. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. And he comes back with one complete. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We begin in the NFC. It's the team from the Valley of the Sun, Arizona, taking on the team from the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, we'll head down to Charlotte to check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And they fall in that one to the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, over 300 yards passing in the victory with a couple of touchdown passes as well. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. The Eagles locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. It was a strong first half for the former Spartan, Kenneth Walker. He's up over 100 yards rushing for the game already, and he scored 3 times as well, as they went to him early and often, and with good reason. Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And now third down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing is Mahomes on third. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the third down play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Up the middle, it's Peterson. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Second down and 8. To throw, it's Mahomes. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
Well, if they have any designs on getting back into this football game in the second half, they're going to need to be much sharper offensively than they were on this opening possession. Not much happening here, and it'll lead to a 4th down.
This is taken at about the 14. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. Now back to throw. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Multiple players getting home for the 1-yard sack. After the sack here, 2nd and 11. Trying the left side with Walker. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11. They'll look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. They're going to try and throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Rams get the football in outstanding field position. A 10th carry now for Peterson. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Mahomes going to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Peterson. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Mahomes now to throw. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. Mahomes in the offense staying out there. They'll go for it on 4th. Mahomes going to go on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. No luck for the Rams as they fail here on 4th down. And that will force a turnover on downs. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 2nd and 10. On the handoff, this is Walker. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Yeah, boy, here's a sight you don't want to see. Ken Walker injured on that last play. They need 12 here. It's 3rd down. He'll look to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 1st down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there.
You want to see a defensive coordinator get upset and throw his headset? This is the kind of play that'll do it. You force 3rd and long. This is almost sort of a give-up play. You're just hoping to get something positive, and it winds up breaking big, and they convert on 3rd down.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it, and oftentimes knock it away.
And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the 1st down. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that's incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is brought in at the 21. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Back out now comes Kenneth Walker in the Seattle offense. He's had a touchdown for every quarter so far. 3 here in the 3rd, and probably hoping he's not done yet.
And this is a situation where it's okay to be greedy. When you've already scored 3 times, you want 4, you want more than that. And guess what? That only helps your team.
Yeah, so far 3, now in search of 4. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Back to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay, because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
This is taken at the 18. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now here's Mahomes. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come. Back now in Los Angeles. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. A quick throw there is incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
They'll run for it. Peterson. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Mahomes firing complete. Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Throwing now is Mahomes. The throw right side here going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And again, it's Mahomes. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Working from the gun, Mahomes. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. Now Mahomes got to have this one. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Rams first down by a couple of yards, it would appear, as they're able to convert on 4th and 5. They'll drop to throw. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's 2nd down. Now Mahomes. Pass complete there to Nakua. Touchdown, Rams. Puka Nakua from 19 yards away. And the Rams have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Extra point right down the middle. And that cuts this lead down to 13. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And the result for the Rams, a touchdown. This taken in at the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
And this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Now they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 44 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll get it inside the 35.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Rams are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Here's 1st and 10. Mahomes. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. Now 2nd down and a few inches. Mahomes. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. He may go. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line. Well, we knew this was going to be a tall order anyway, down 2 scores with this little time remaining, but that interception puts an end to any hopes that they had.
All right, partner, work with me here because obviously scoring a touchdown, getting the onside kick, then going down, scoring again. Well, that's asking a lot, isn't it? And that's really not a great expectation to begin with. I think they'll look back on this game and see what got them in this spot in the first place and say to themselves, we really gave this game away.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the campaign and 4th overall. And the Seahawks have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete, but a penalty flag is out. And this looks like pass interference. Let's see. So a PI call going to cost him there defensively. What did you see?
Well, I think it's the right call, partner, because sometimes we'll see officials kind of let them play. But by the letter of the law, that's definitely a penalty.
And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now it's Mahomes again. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw, it's Mahomes. He completes it to Nelson. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Mahomes now to throw. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Rams are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally. But here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be taken in by the Seahawks. And it would appear they're on their way to victory now. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. The Rams going to be forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Well, on fourth down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Mahomes to throw it. They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game in this sequence here. Maybe you hand it off and let someone run the ball if you so choose. But otherwise, just kneel down, call it a day, and try and prepare going forward.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
Here's Mahomes. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Another one in the...
Why would I hold him out for ransom when my scope like Richard Branson? Since the basement making anthems over seasons with the man.